You're watching the Line Makers exclusively on SportingNews.com, presented by Jack Daniels.
Hey folks, it's Brian Blessing with Kenny White, Richie Bachelari. Dallas going to Carolina, Cowboys. You know, these videos are supposed to be in the neighborhood of 3 minutes, but if Jason Garrett has something to do about it, we can screw the time up. We can go as long or as short as you want. That was atrocious. Unbelievable how the Cowboys mangled the clock last week. Richie, start with the number. I know you want to talk about this. Dallas is a 2-point favorite. Yeah, you're laughing already. The total on the game is 45.5. Where do we go when the number sits at 2?
This is such a crappy game and such a crappy number on a crappy game. There's nothing to do with it. Bookmakers are sitting -2 on top. There's going to be 2.5. There's going to be 1.5. There's going to be 2 evens. There's going to be 2 to dog 15.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, there's going to be all those numbers on this game.
If that number goes on the board, that person should be fired.
It's going to be a very unbettable game at this number, and until it goes one direction or another, gets pushed to 3, or God forbid down the pick 'em, it's going to be a dead betting game.
What do you make of the Dallas Cowboys, Kenny? The talent's there. They just have this penchant for self-destruction. How do you trust them?
You really can't trust them right now. It's a bad football team with great talent and amazing. You know, Jason Garrett started out his career coming in. They were 1-7 when he got hired as a head coach, and he went 5-3 to finish the season. And I think Jerry Jones stayed out of his way. But Jerry Jones is way too involved in football operations and day-to-day things for the Cowboys that this team has no chance of success.
I didn't know this was ESPN. We're going to go back to the Cowboys and how bad they really are. They've lost 3 of the last 4. Bryant blows the 2-point conversion. Like Brian said, coach, timeout, no timeout, blows the last chance for a game-winning field goal. They're a pathetic team right now, but like everything in the NFL, probably a game that they go into Carolina, who they scored a field goal. An offensive score was a field goal last week. The center's out. The quarterback's the lead in Russia. I'm gonna go with Dallas in this spot. I'm gonna be very cautious with it. Hopefully it goes down. I don't think it will.
The most interesting dynamic would be negatively, what Jerry Jones is worth against the Cowboys in relation to the wagering line. But Kenny, in all seriousness, talk about Cam Newton. You identified after a quarter of the season last year, his numbers dropped dramatically. We almost have a correlation going on this year with RG3, but Newton is struggling.
He really is. The first 2 games of this year he did well. Same as last year. First 4 games of the year, Richie averaged over 320 passing yards a game. And then the last 8, he averaged right around 200 a game. A huge difference. The coaching philosophy changes too. They start to get more conservative with these young quarterbacks because they start to rack up the INTs as well.
7-14 as a starter, and 2 of those wins, I always say this, 2 of those wins against Tampa Bay, who had quit that part of the season last year. So,
as Richie said, this number is a hodgepodge. It's volatile. It's dancing all over the place. Keep it right here leading up to kickoff. The Line Makers on Sporting News for all the up-to-date information.